All right, let's start with exercise 6. Now, this is the problem statement. This is the same data that we used in our exercise 4. Okay, these are the 5 universities and the rows are different departments. Okay, so first column was the data of BUET, second column was the data of QUET, then RUET, then CHUET, then IUT, and this was triple CSC, triple E, then whatever. So let's start with solving the problems. Okay, so what we want to do here is that we want to modify our original data. That means I want to modify that matrix. So far we have extracted some elements from the matrix. Okay, if you are following the lectures, we have so far extracted some of the elements. We can extract a particular element, we can extract a particular whole column, we can extract a whole row as well. Okay, we can extract everything. Now I want to modify our original data. Okay, let's see how it works. So the first question is BUET is the first column. Okay, wants to add 30 students. This is not the first column. Wait, sorry. Now BUET, that is the first column. Okay, BUET wants to add 30 students to each department. So let me just rewind the data again. So this was our data. So BUET wants to add 30 students to each of the departments. So I only have to modify this first column of the whole matrix. I have to add 30 to each of the column. Okay, I have to add 30 to each of the columns. Now let's see how to do that. So okay, so this is our data. Okay, this is our, no, this is not the data. I think I made a mistake. Copy it again. Okay, so this is our original data. Okay, so total 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. If you remember previously, we can use this size function to get the size. 7 rows and 5 columns. Now I want to modify this first column only. Okay, so I want to make, so data of all the rows of first column. This is what I want to change. So I will make it, I'll assign some new value, that is already whatever the value is. Okay, plus I want to add 30 to each of the rows of this first column. So I just add 30. Okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, this first column 120, 30 is added, 150, 180, but it actually become 210. So 30 is added to all the elements in the first column, and the other 4 columns actually remained unchanged. So as you can see, I did not have to add a row or something like that. I just add 30 and it was actually added to each of the element in this matrix. Okay, I just add 130. So this is something that we call this is called broadcasting. Okay, broadcasting. Now normally this is another great advantage of MATLAB. Now normally the programming language does not offer this function broadcasting, but like Python NumPy will actually offer this one, otherwise it is not actually there. So broadcasting is, I have, so for example something like is equals to 30 20 30. So let me, okay, so I had a column vector like this. Okay, so I had a column vector. Okay, this was our column vector. It will actually look more clear. So this was our column vector. Now I want to add, say for example, I want to add 20, 10 to each of the column, to each of the elements. So I should have add something like this. If you remember matrix summation, I should add like this, but I am not actually doing that. I am not writing a matrix. I can just write 10 plus 10, and it will automatically, MATLAB will automatically assume, it will automatically convert this 10 into this column vector, and this is what we call broadcasting. And later on you will actually see much more example of broadcasting. So these are actually like some of the great advantage of using MATLAB that actually makes it very convenient. So this was our first data and it is actually done. So our data has been modified. So we have actually solved the first question. Now let's take a look at the second question. IoT, that is the fifth column, wants to double the number of students in each department. So that means I want to double this particular column. Let's see if we can do that. This was our first data. Let's second data. Remember, I want to convert only the first column or now the last column, not the other columns. That's why I'm writing this way. Okay, phi is equals to data of multiplied by 2. Let's see. So as you can see, the 40 was multiplied by 20. All of these were remained the same. All of this remained the same. Now, oh sorry, one of the thing that actually made a mistake, that is that this line is still there. So 150 is again okay, added 30 is again added. It was originally 120. When you write it first time, 30 was added, but when you wrote it again, when you actually run it again, it was added again, it was 30 was added. So that was a mistake. We need to comment this portion out. Let me it. Okay, so now this is our original data after the first modification, adding 30 to each of the elements in the first column. Now I want to multiply the elements of the last column. So let's multiply. And as you can see, all of these four columns are remaining the same. And the last column, it was 40, it became 80. 80 became 160 because we are doubling. We just multiply it by 2. And this asterisk is the multiplication sign for MATLAB. Now the non-values, take a look. Non-values actually didn't change because like I said, none means that department does not exist. So none is not getting multiplied. So only the elements that are present there only getting multiplied. Okay. So I hope it is clear. Now the third question was, all the universities want to decrease the number of electrical engineering students by 10. So triple E means the second row. Okay. So all the universities wants to decrease this row by 10. Okay, so I think you can do it by yourself. Let me still show you. So what I want to do is I want to modify the second row. Second row all columns is equals to second row all columns minus 10, decrease by 10. So it was 210, it become 200. It was 120, it become 110. All the other rows are remaining the same. Okay, so this is how you actually manipulate matrix. We just take a one, then add the function here. Then all the universities, now take a look at here, all the universities want to remove the C department. That means C department was row number 5. I want to remove this, completely remove the civil department. We don't want civil department anymore. So how to remove a whole row? Okay, so what we'll actually do here is like something like this. Data of fifth row, right? Fifth row of all the columns. Okay, data of fifth row in all the columns. I want to delete those things. I'll do that by writing this empty array. Okay, this empty array. Then you will see originally it was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Now it becomes 6 because our fifth row, this row has been deleted. Okay, so this is the way you can actually delete a particular row or delete a particular column. You take that row and assign the value, okay, this null value or empty matrix to it, and it will automatically get deleted. Okay, let's take a look again. Now Ruet wants to increase their civil department students by 30. I believe you can actually do it. It is similar to this one. It is for your practice. Now Ruet wants to increase each department student by this. Now understand, Kuwait, that is this second column, okay, wants to increase the each department student. Okay, now we cannot actually just it is different for different departments. So I have to take this row. Okay, so let's make it x is equals to this. Okay, this is the row. Now I want to add 5 students to the first row, 10 students to the second, 5 students to the third. Okay, this way. But as you can see, this data is a column vector, this row, and this column is a column vector, but this data is in a row vector mode. So what we have to do, we have to just invert it. So let's do it something like this. We want to modify our second, all the rows of second column is equals to data of all the rows of second column plus we want to add this one. So add this one but invert it. So this is the inversion type. Okay, it is done. So 5 is added to the second column, it become 120 become 125, 110 become 120 and so on. So I just use this inversion sign. Okay, x prime. So x prime can use, that is called transposing a matrix. So this actually called transpose. Okay, if you remember from your intermediate, from matrix manipulation, transpose is something I believe you have learned to rotate the matrix. Okay, now last question was extract the data of IoT after modification. So we have modified our original data. I want to extract the last column. You already know this. Okay, so this is data of, I want to extract the last column, right? So I can write all the rows of the fifth column. Okay, now this is something we can do. Let's try something else. What if we write this one? Now you can see if we write this one, again I get the data. So we write something different, that is called int. Okay, int means sometimes we may not know what is the length of the what is the length. It can have 100 or 120 or 30 or 300 elements. Okay, so far we may not know. So we can just simply access the last element of an array by writing this end. Okay, if we write this end, it will automatically give me the value of the last element. Okay, so this is another thing we learned here, and this is I believe we have learned all of those things. So broadcasting, matrix manipulation, then deleting rows and columns and extracting rows and columns. I believe we have learned all of these things. Okay, now let's come back here. Let's go in the next video, this one.